Happy New Year 2022 televiewers on my Media Prime Television. We are on to the very first edition of The Brief live on my Media Prime Television, a program where we get to dig several layers. Meantime, let's go find out what the French newspapers equally carry for us this morning with Bomoton Guina Gladys. Bonjour et bonne année 2022.
Merci beaucoup Lasha Kinsley et bonne année à vous aussi. Bonne année à vous qui nous regardez sur ma Media Prime Télévision. C'est un plaisir de vous retrouver pour cette première édition de Débrief, votre émission de revue de presse bilingue sur ma Media Prime Télévision pour le compte de cette année 2022. Alors nous allons débuter ce matin avec le journal Mutation qui nous parle en page 5 du message du président de la République à la nation camerounaise. Le journal revient sur la création de 3 universités d'État, du développement équitable des régions, des investissements significatifs, donc la foulée de la canne et de la relance de l'opération Épervier. En page 7, le journal nous parle des points d'interrogation sur la canne 2021. Nous continuons donc ce matin avec le journal L'Équation qui parle aussi du message du président Paul Biya à la nation camerounaise le 31 décembre 2021. Le journal déclare que le message présidentiel à la nation la veille du nouvel an a pris les allures d'un aide et charrie les disparus du Cameroun et bien d'autres informations. C'était tout donc pour cette revue de presse en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha Kinsley.
Thank you, Gladys. Let's kick start with the national bilingual daily Cameroon Tribune. Cameroon Tribune is focusing this morning on President Paul Biya's speech that was on Friday, 31st December 2021. According to Cameroon Tribune newspaper, President Paul Biya calls on Cameroonians to be united and strong together, faced with multiple challenges such as the organization of AFCON, Total Energies 2021, the relaunching of the economy, and the COVID-19. President Paul Biya last Friday during his traditional end-of-year speech invited or urged Cameroonians to come together and face these challenges. More details on President Paul Biya's speech only in this edition of the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. We take you to the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post this morning is telling us about Dr. Ngwanyam, who makes predictions for new look Cameroon in 2022. And equally, the paper is bringing to us some faces of Cameroonians who moved mountains in 2022. More details, or 2021 rather, more details about the faces who made or moved mountains in 2021. Only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. We end with Municipal Updates. Municipal Updates newspaper is revisiting the speech of President Paul Biya. This time around, the paper is telling us that President Biya crusades local development and constructive dialogue across the national territory. Thank you for watching. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions, and we are receiving Dr. Ngwanyam, who is the president of St. Louis University Institute and also a social entrepreneur. Happy New Year, Dr. Ngwanyam, and welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you, Kingsley, Gladys, and listeners. Happy New Year 2022 will be a great year.
Okay, we are focusing on President Paul Biya's speech last Friday, 31st December 2021, where President Paul Biya said a number of things. Let me ask you, before we dive into some of the major headlines that the papers relate, what caught your attention in President Paul Biya's speech?
Oh, a lot of things, but before I even get lost into what caught me, I would like to say that in your introduction, you were saying that we were going to dig several layers, you know, beneath what we are seeing and have heard, because you heard some things, but under that, several layers under it, there's a lot of stuff, and that's what we'll be dealing with. And to be able to understand what we are saying, I was thinking before I got into the studio, you know, it has to do with our thinking capacities. How are we going to think ourselves through what President Paul Biya said and what we have to go through? There are 3 kinds of thinking patterns that we must be aware of. There's linear thinking, which is analytical thinking. Most people stay at the level of linear thinking. Continue to disrupt, and that's what we are here for.
Okay, and President Paul Biya equally talked about AFCON 2022. I was wondering, how are we going to make the AFCON structures money generating during and after the events in the country? Let's begin with AFCON, which starts in a few days.
It's very, very important because we get caught up in the excitement of the moment, but we don't look beyond to say, okay, we are here today, where would we be tomorrow? For starters, you know that we had a lot of difficulties putting in place all those AFCON structures, and you know there's a lot of embezzlement that went on in there, which the president was talking about. Now comes the moment of the AFCON proper, which is a moment of joy and celebration and brotherhood with the rest of Africa and the world. And beyond that fanfare and celebration, what next? What next? We understand that some of those those stadia were supposed to have 5-star hotels and so many other things that are supposed to be used after the AFCON for money generating activities. And my fear is that we are going to leave those structures to rot. Have you seen that stadium from Oyem in Gabon? You know, a beautiful stadium that was used just for, there was some women's game or whatever, and they've left it to rot, and there are trees growing everywhere, chairs have been ripped.
Pobia equally announced the creation of 3 state universities in the country, and we are talking about youth unemployment in the country. Are these universities really coming to create the jobs or to train youths?
No, I mean, like we said, if you're just thinking analytically and counting universities, you think it's a great achievement. I'm not excited by.
But what kind of university did Pobia announce?
That's right. Yeah, he would have said, I'm creating 3 technical universities, then we'll know what university. But if he says, I'm just creating university without qualifying the kind of universities.
We as Cameroonian curriculum developer like yourself have to help President Pobia now.
That's exactly what we are saying.
He just announced that I'm creating 3 state universities.
That's right. He announced the creation of universities, and because you and I are digging below, we are saying that those universities are not like what we have today. They have to be technical universities, and they must be like universities in South Korea, otherwise we are messing up.
Ok, Gladys.
Ok, effectivement, il y a certains Camerounais qui, après avoir écouté le message du chef de l'État, ont déclaré être restés sur leur soif parce qu'ils ont attendu de voir un bilan ou un projet ou bien des projets pour la...
De se réveiller et faire comme ce qu'on doit faire pour réussir. Et le problème du Cameroun, si vous réfléchissez bien, le problème du Cameroun, c'est la mauvaise gouvernance. C'est ça le problème. On peut dire tout ce qu'on veut du matin au soir, tant qu'on n'a pas corrigé le problème de cette mauvaise gouvernance, on n'ira nulle part.
Lui, c'est un mauvais chef.
Comment?
Pobia is at the helm now.
Non, écoutez, moi, je suis un entrepreneur et je gère les structures. Et il faut savoir que lorsqu'on est chef en haut là et on gère les structures, c'est pas aussi facile que ça gérer un pays, parce que je suis là avec une petite université que je gère et derrière moi, même les étudiants que je vous parle, c'est comme si c'était de blague. Les étudiants qui sont venus, ils me payent 200 000 francs par an pour étudier. Tu les prends, tu les mets là et ils sont là en train de voler les projecteurs, voler les écrans de formation. On va faire comment? C'est le Cameroun, on vole jusqu'à voler les bébés dans le ventre de maman. C'est ça notre problème. C'est pas le problème de Pobia. Ils vous donnent tout et on vole. Vous voulez qu'il fasse quoi?
But he should put mechanism in place to
c'est
correct that.
C'est ça donc. Tu dis que le président doit mettre le mécanisme en place pour empêcher ce vol de l'hymne national. On est patriote parce qu'on sait le Camerounais, on sait le Cameroun. On te donne l'argent pour faire quelque chose. Tu fais ça. Tu ne voles pas. Tu ne prends pas tous les gens de ton village. Tu remplis l'administration avec. On doit résoudre le problème de tout le Cameroun. C'est ça qu'on appelle le patriotisme. On soutient le président pas en chantant « Oh, tu es beau, tu as fait ceci ». Non, on soutient le président en faisant le travail. Comme ça, quand on regarde le travail, on dit « Merci le président ». C'est comme ça, c'est ça le patriotisme, pas ces conneries-là.
So how can we sort out these issues and ensure that in 2022 the worst is even coming with the price hikes and everything that we have now?
Yes, of course.
How can we be able to, to be patriotic with empty stomachs?
Yeah, I mean, there was a report the other day on France 24.
Yes,
done by Sondo. And then our government minister spokesperson went on to bash them. He was wrong. Watch my lips, he was wrong. In fact, Our economy is bad, our productivity is bad, and in economics, when demand goes up and supply is down, prices hike and they strike. In 2008, that's what we went through. And when President Paul Biya was talking about 2035, he was talking about our capacity to produce, industrialize, and something, and we have done nothing about it. And then the prices are hiking just to come and sit on television and say it's a lie.
But some people have actually testified that they got a bottle of or a liter of vegetable oil for 1,600.
Yes, of course, that is completely wrong because see, we have our palms all over the place, and of course, it's unfortunate because with the war, you see that CDC is not producing much, so the prices have to go up. And besides growing palms, in 2022, there is this Dr. Felix in the University of Chang who is trying to encourage the growth of tournesol. You know what tournesol is?
No,
sunflower oil. Okay. Sunflower oil, and you can grow about 2 or 3 crops in a year, and we can produce a lot of oil from that, and we can produce cakes to feed our animals and so on. So the problem is, if we are having problems in Cameroon, is lack of technology, and that we don't use technology and we don't use our brains to solve our problems, and that will start in 2022.
Ok, et parlant de technologie, on a aussi des messages d'augmentation de 0,2% sur toutes les transactions et qui laissent baver les Camerounais à cet
oui, j'ai compris, j'ai suivi attentivement. On va trouver une solution, un coup-circuit à tout ça.
Okay.
But why should the government tax supplier and at the same time tax consumers?
It's just unfortunate that we're in the nation where people are not thinking. Like we have said before, the way a nation functions, you have politics, you have economics, you have development, and these things spins around through proper education. But because we are not educated properly, we don't understand economics, we don't understand politics, and we don't understand development. And you see, if you go again, like I've said before, the greatest problem in our country is caused by ENAM. And
no, but doctor, let me just
say, we are not thinking, we don't think things through. So we just have this narrow mindset. The problem is not actually the, are you getting me? Okay. The problem is not the tax. The problem
that's what I was
just
saying, that the parliamentarians who voted this bill, are you telling me that they are not knowledgeable enough?
Forget about the parliament. Forget about the parliamentarians. You can vote anything, but that's not the issue. The thing is this. Forget about it. Sometimes they vote, they don't know what they're voting. This is the problem. We must improve on our economic fabric. Our economy in Cameroon is in the hands of foreigners. And to know, how do I know that? Okay, do you see those plantain plantations in Jombe? When you're passing, they look so beautiful. Yeah. Do they belong to Cameroon? No, they are French
companies.
Even the palms that we had, the CDC, we sold them out to other people. What exactly do we have? Nothing. Go to a supermarket, I don't want to mention their names, 95% of the things on the shelves in our supermarkets are imported. You know, like they constructed this new supermarket by the airport, and the Prime Minister came and said, oh, we need more of these supermarkets. I think that was a huge mistake. You cannot just keep constructing supermarkets and buying foreign goods and filling them in. No, we need to be able to improve on our production. The tax, people are feeling the pinch of the tax because, you know, we are paying just up for about everything. The only thing that is not being taxed now is oxygen. So watch out. And the violence in the nation goes up when the taxation goes up, when everything is just about tax, the cost of living goes up. We saw that in 2008. And in 2022, we must do everything to industrialize and improve on our productivity. And you cannot do that if you don't change your educational system. We must empower our youths to be able to solve our problems. If we don't do that, forget it. The minister can go to the air and say anything, the parliament can vote anything, but the basic things, if you don't do them, you're in shit.
Okay, Dr. Nick, let's talk about ending the war in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon now.
You don't end the war, it's not by fighting. The guns cannot end that war. The government will not win that war.
But many Cameroonians were like disappointed with President Paul Biya when he came to that line, that paragraph of addressing the war in the northwest and southwest.
Because nobody wins that war with a gun. That war cannot be won with a gun. It is won with love, it's won with truth, it's won with addressing root issues, it's won by bringing families together and people together and reasoning things out. That war will be won through a new dialogue, and that dialogue will change the form of state and change so many things. And if the people, forget about the boys who are carrying guns and are fighting. You have to, you know, a lot of things have happened there. But the question is, why did the people start fighting? Why did they take up arms? And as of now, the problem is still just in West Cameroon. Let us be very careful. Let us be very careful that Francophone youths don't learn how to make those bombs. The country will be over. So the earlier we stop this war by doing the right thing, the better. And the thing is continuing because the major national dialogue and the special status fail to respect the truth.
And so, what was the truth? What is the truth?
The truth is that there are some bottom line issues that were violated, and until you correct those bottom line issues, there will be no truth.
And who is ready? Because apparently many Cameroonians or those who are involved, they don't even have ears.
Yeah, it's
longer.
because as
within
of now,
the government circle or even
many people are making money out of the war. The economy of war has come in. People on the amber side, they are making money. Some people in the government side are making money. Too many middle people, and now the population is being crushed. It's time for us to come to our senses and do what is right, what is just.
Dr. Ni, we have barely 3 minutes to go, and let us end with this this last question, talking about 2035 and what happened to it. The 2035 that President Paul Biya is preaching, Cameroon has to emerge by 2035. Do you really think with what we have now, with the
what 2035 is? We don't understand what 2035 is. And we are not working to getting towards 2035. 2035 will come and surprise us again, and we'll move it to 2050. So it's been like that. You see the problems we are having in Cameroon now. President Paul Biya on the 31st of December 2013 made the diagnosis of the disease that's worrying Cameroon, inertia and the lack of common good. That he made the diagnosis, but unfortunately from there up until now, he didn't provide the treatment, and that's why we are suffering.
Was he the only person that was supposed to provide the treatment? What about his
has the
close
yam,
collaborators?
He has the yam and the knife, and it is those collaborators that have messed the whole nation up.
Gladys, we are moving out of the program.
Effectivement, nous allons clôturer l'émission de débrief pour ce première émission de débrief pour 2022, et bonne année encore à vous une fois de plus.
Yes, Dr. Ngwanyam, last word to Cameroonians who are watching us at this time.
2022 will be a beautiful year. It started with Etofis, watch and see.
And then to the education community or the
educational community, sit up and change your educational system. Put STEMs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, entrepreneurship, agriculture, everything, 70% of what you are teaching the children. All what we've been teaching our children for 60 years has been a scam.
Thank you to televiewers of My Media Prime for watching the very first edition of the program, which was, of course, produced by Christain, Tebong, as usual. And we were Bomotongina, Gladys, and myself, Lasha Kingsley. You can watch us on Facebook, My Media Prime TV, or BT Media Group YouTube channel, and other social media platforms of
My Media Prime TV, the